the organizer and the festival director very much. Somi Roy has something for us to say from a minister, and they're going to play something. So let him introduce what they're going to do before I call upon Shobana.
Yeah.
Oh, you're stamping me.
If I may take a few
Microphone.
minutes. Are you going to be ready? In a few minutes. My apologies. I did intend, first and foremost, to have parallel sessions all throughout the festival. So how we've ended up having one program there and over here is a fulfillment of my original desire. That's the best way of looking at basically a screw-up on my part. So please, I beg your indulgence. And I want to introduce you a very special friend. Please come here. We have Imasi Foundation has a lot of, and I think David, you will appreciate this. We are a lot of chiefs are no Indians, which is an expression we use saying that there are lots of people, very important people, and very few people to make it happen. So we are all chiefs and no Indians, which is of course ironic considering that we are in India. And so Satyajit Aribam is an advisory council member, and we reconstituted Imasi Foundation last year to create this advisory council and brought in 4 young people. The foundation trustees originally were my mother's friends, and some of them have passed on. Many are, unfortunately, weak and old. They're in the late 80s now, perhaps 90. And we have, I'm proud to say, the creme de la creme of Manipur's cultural leadership. We have 3 Padma Shris among us, 3 Padma Shris returned among us, and a lot of distinguished awards. They have been the guiding spirit, and they are great artists. The greatest artists of Manipur today are the trustees of Imasi Foundation. But we want to reconstitute Imasi Foundation as a forward-thinking organization, because what we need is to create the legacy of M.K. Binodini, and legacy necessarily by definition means for future generations, for young people. So we have a new generation of very dynamic, enterprising young people from Manipur who are now on the advisory council, and Satyajit Aribam is one of them. He's based in Delhi.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, it's all L.Somi's kindness. I'm just like, you know, I'm just following him. Whatever he says, I'm trying to do my bit. And I'm very happy to associate with this Imasi Foundation. And I hope I can deliver my best, you know, level. I'll just say these few words and, you know, just continue because we're already late with the schedules. So, and we'll be playing a short video from Honorable Minister Meenakshi Lekhi. She has just sent a video. I'd like to play it. Thank you.
And one of the things that we have people now in Delhi helping us. Again, very, very unhappy that our dear friend Sanjeev Bihari is now in the ICU after his cardiac arrest, just the day before he's supposed to arrive here. And so we miss him terribly. We hope he will recover. And as a new concept of a festival that is neither here nor there, or if you want to look at the other way, everywhere, we've been talking to a lot of institutions, and the idea of the festival keeps morphing as the discussions happen. In fact, sitting right in front of me is Shobna Chalaya, with whom I shared some of the earliest ideas of how this festival is supposed to, could be. And we do have some of her original language in our proposal still. And so I thank her for helping conceptualize the festival. And as we talked to Tani Changte, dear friend, to Uma, to Hezekiel, through the pre-festival curtain raiser, it changed. Are we creating digital resources in the middle of all this by doing this? Perhaps we are. I mean, I came in the tail end of the discussion, and you're talking about television. Last night at 9 o'clock, we broadcast Asang Banong Jabi, Crimson Rain Clouds, the play, on village community radio station called Diamond. It's about in 1 hour from south of Imphal. And I'm told that their listenership is actually greater than All India Radio now. It's a community radio station run by some very enterprising young people in the farming community near Thobal. Khongjom is actually the town they are based in, where the Battle of Khongjom took place. So I'm very interested in rural community radio stations. I'm very interested in radio, but I'm also very interested in the rural. I'm very sorry that we cannot take you to the Loktak polo game as planned, because the government announced that as of today, no outdoor events can take place in Manipur because the children go into their school finals for the next couple of weeks. So all outdoor events have been banned. Indoor, we can chat and talk and discuss. So, but we have to deal with certain ways in which the Northeast works, which is frustrating, but it's also an interesting challenge. But being part of the process of creating culture over here, I think has been quite the most rewarding thing about trying to put this festival together. It's been 4 years since we first started, and we do intend to travel this to other states in the Northeast. But right now we have the Pandwani. We're taping it all to send to UNT and Indiana University. So you will get to see it, but we have Pandwani performers from Chhattisgarh performing right now, even as we speak over here. And this is our connection to say that through literature, through orality, through performance, we also connect to the mainland India, different cultures of mainland India. So every year we will have some program that will connect the Northeast to the rest of the country using literature, because we are not politicians, we're not funders, we're not economists. We are arts curators, performers, and activists. So while we were setting all this up, are you ready? Not yet. We have a message coming in from Meenakshi Lekhi, the Minister of Culture in Delhi, Minister of State, and we had met with her, and she also was very interested, genuinely interested in this, not just being a minister, We had a wonderful meeting, which probably went on for more than an hour, just us in her office, and she has said that she will support this festival, and she supports it this year. It'll happen next year also, I assure you. So I think we are on a good footing as far as the powers that be in Delhi are concerned. Sentila Younger and we've been talking about, I might just say it because we're all family here, about doing the next one in Nagaland. We want to do Nagaland next year. The time we'll have to discuss a little bit, what is when. And so I wanted Satyajit to come and play the videotape that we just received, not half an hour ago, from Meenakshi Lekhi's office to the listener, the attendants, the people who are participating, the organizers, and so on. So are you ready? It's a video, so we're going to project it here.
Namaskar. It is heartening to know that Imasi, the Maharaj Kumari Binodini Devi Foundation of Manipur, is organizing the Listener Festival of Oral Literature, the unique initiative that focuses on preserving the non-text and pre-text traditions and literature of Northeast will bring to light the intangible cultural heritage of the region. Culture plays an important role in the development of any nation. It represents a set of shared values, attitudes, goals, and practices. A country as diverse as India is symbolized by the plurality of its culture. The plurality and multiplicity of the Indian culture is evident to the whole world, as India has one of the world's largest collections of songs, music, dance, theatre, folk traditions, performing arts, rites and rituals, languages, dialects, paintings, and writings that are collectively known as the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Intangible cultural heritage of any nation is tantamount to the soul of its civilization, people, and history. It is imperative that we preserve our intangible heritage for the coming generations. I'm confident that the initiative undertaken by the Imasi Foundation will further help in promoting and preserving our heritage. My best wishes are to the members of the Imasi Foundation and all the participants for a successful oral literature festival. Jai Hind.
Alright, so thank you, Somi and Satyajit, for this
Okay, I think I misplaced my phone. Let's see.
beautiful message from Minister Meenakshi Lekhi. We are honored actually, her message was played as part of our panel. So that's something nice. Anyway, thank you. So we are going to continue on creating digital resources for the indigenous languages. Now I call upon Shobna Chelaya to present her views on today's panel.
Sure.
I think, shall I close this, Hezekiel? This is
Okay, then please.
just, yeah, you can just,
We would love to have a copy of
just
all
remove that. Can I?
Yes. Just put on the mic.
Shobna, who's sorry, Uma, who's
Alindra and then you.
So I'll just go forward and then back. I would
Are like our goals at Chorus for helping build digital resources. They're very different from linguist goals, I think, the way that we work as linguists. So as linguists, we often like pick one language and then we work through to try to get from the source material all the way to the description. But what we're trying to do in Chorus is work with community members to have them collect what they want, not what we want for making a grammar or a dictionary, but what they want for cultural preservation. So we train them to do that. And once they've collected that source material, we work with them to do the transcription. Some of you, only one person, two of you who are not linguists here. I think everybody, and Ezekiel, so 3, and our 2 tech people. So I'm speaking to you. So you may not know how complicated it is to actually create digital resources for a language. That's what I wanted to, what I wanted to really bring across. So it takes many different steps, right? One is figure out what you want to record. Why is this piece important? Figure out how to do the recording right. Like these guys are trained. You know how to do video, and all of us don't know. We have to learn. Like David now has it down. You've got nice framing for him. We've just learned how to pick the right equipment for the right place. We're learning those things, but we want to train community members once they choose what they want to record to do that. After they've done that, then there's just a recording. That's not a digital resource. That's like just some raw material. You can't do much with it except view it as it is. So we want to train them to use software to transcribe using some kind of practical orthography. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be authentic to the recording. So this is different from CIIL, where CIIL very often does wordless and you may also be doing the naturalistic text, but you also have a focus on linguist down, right? Because we say we want these wordless and we want, and I'm not,
Go beyond that.
you do. It's the order probably. So I also do exactly what you do as a linguist, but for Chorsal, what we're trying to do is to really build the corpora up quickly by starting with this, find the choice community members who are already ready to do this work, who maybe they're already doing it, and give them that added push of, here's a recorder, here's how you should use it. I'll be back with you in 3 weeks to see how you've done. And we have constant touch points with I'm calling them my staff, but they're really my students who love doing this work, and they're on payroll, but as students. And my dream is to actually have staff, full-time staff, who can help with this contact with community members in different places. As I've traveled through India, especially Northeast India, I've met several community members who are really ready to do this work. They just need the finances and they need the support. So that's what I'm trying to do. So the second step is to train them, either that person or another group of people in the community, because it's often not the same person. One person is really good at finding the elders and recording, and then they're done with it. They're bored. Like, they do not want to sit at a computer. They want to be out in the field. So you find another set of people who are like, give me a computer, and anytime I have free time, I'll sit down and do the transcription. And they like technology. So they can create these kind of very simple transcriptions. And that's as far as we need to go, I feel, to get the first pass of work and really build up a corpus of Boro, a corpus of Tiwa, many of these languages that we're talking about, to then train linguists on my side of the ocean and linguists here to be working together to get it to the third step. So that's sort of my vision of where CORSAL is going for long-term planning, for building up the corpora that we'd like for our computational resource for South Asian languages. So building a digital resource, like a digital dictionary, phone apps, like you said Motorola was doing. All of those things need those things that we began with, which is that recording of the community member recording a recipe or doing, how you do weaving, all that feeds into the dictionary that we finally create. And so after they've done the transcription is the next phase. And we've been doing some training for people to start analyzing those longer pieces of text into words. Those words then go into a dictionary. And they can then be added to with existing materials. Like we're doing a lot of OCR scanning. Like we've broken a lot of books in the last 6 months or so. As I've moved from one state to the other, rather than moving books, we've opened them up, scanned them, made sure we can OCR those, and bring them into dictionaries, existing dictionaries, or creating. And we've been working with people to build large spreadsheets with these word lists, so they can then fill in cultural information. They don't have to be experts, but they can fill them in. So we just are working, us and CORSAL are working with different sets of people in the community with different interests and different levels of expertise. So you don't have to have technological savvy all through the community. You just need people who can do different sorts of things. With the dictionary spreadsheet, what we found is one set of people go out and get the words. They type them in. Another set of people are really good at IPA, and they work with either the recording or with the original person to get the IPA in. And that's actually something we've left for the last. The thing that we're really focusing on, getting good definitions and getting older people to say exactly what kind of basket, what is it made of, how do you actually make this recipe, what is this kind of fish, where do you find it? So really detailed definitions that you don't find when outsiders make dictionaries. They make very short definitions, like a basket, a type of black bird. So we're trying to avoid that kind of thing. And that's what we're focusing on with the dictionaries. Once those databases are made, you don't need Motorola. You really don't need them anymore. You want to do a phone app, you can go up to, CIIL is one of those places. You can go and do a phone app in like 2 seconds. Upload your database to Flex. Flex goes into their online, the way they do their online dictionaries, and from there you can do a phone app. But there are other phone app things you can get from. So many students are building phone apps nowadays. All you need is that big spreadsheet with the data. So we're working with people to do that. So Motorola doesn't want to work with our languages of 1,000 people or 10,000 people. We don't care. Goodbye, Motorola. We don't need you anymore. Or don't record that. But so then the last part is that these long extended pieces, people go in and put in the word meanings, but then they also have to figure out how the sentences are constructed. Where's the subject, where's the verb, and so on. We need that for doing like faster translation, like automatic translation. And so to make bigger corpora. And so that's like the last part of the training. And my hope is that I will find more students. I had some great students at UNT who are working with the populations that we're working with till the dictionary part. And I'm hoping now that we'll find more students to work on the higher translation part. So I'll summarize here. To build digital resources, you can use all sorts of fancy things. You can say, automatic speech recognition or this and that. But really what you need is linguists working with communities to collect really good materials, do phonetic transcription or orthographic transcription. No one else can do that but linguists, because we're the ones who really can partner with people to help with phonemic, right, analysis and really understanding how to do that. Next, doing definitions and word level analysis, and finally sentence level analysis. May sound boring, but we are really good at it. Linguists are good at it, and I hope that the next pot of money that comes out, somebody will hear that and say linguists are good at it and put some money behind that, because if we can train community members to help with each step and then partner with linguists for the final step of analysis, then going from source to analysis will not be as daunting. It's not one person working individually on different languages, but a group of people working on a language or a language family. And I think we won't do a perfect job, but we'll do a much faster job that can be then perfected by, the David Petersons and the Tange Chantes of the world and linguists like yourself. You can go and take what's out there and in Corsal, half digested, ready for you to work on, and give it to one of your students to then take to the next level. And I think we can do a lot more that way, and communities will be invested in it as well. So that's Corsal's contribution to creating, or Corsal's vision for creating digital resources for the world. Thank you so much. There may be a question. I don't think so.
Thank you, Shobana, for sharing your views on the vision of Corsal, which of course you are taking from UNT to Indiana.
No, Corsal remains at UNT because the infrastructure is there, and Indiana and UNT will have an MOU. Wow. So I continue to direct it, and our students continue. We actually are growing rather than and moving. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you. So it's interesting to do that, and now having heard from Shobana since morning about digital archiving, and she has been lecturing in many parts of India about this, so some of you are already familiar with this. Any questions or feedback or anything crucial that you think should be taken up or
No, you think it'll work? Think it's a good plan, or is it going to not?
I think it's worth a try.
It's worth a try. I mean, okay.
Yeah, so
I think that's a good way to think of it. Like, do it.
Producing useful.
Excuse me?
It's already producing useful.
useful resources.
Yeah, it's already producing some, like, for example, you found your story.
I used it for my talk.
You did, yeah. Yeah, people are citing
I had the page open, I thought I might show you
that it's in Corsal, yeah.
Yeah.
I think on Google Translate, the search key, they've added a whole bunch of languages in the last 2 years. And
It's
one
off.
of them is Mizo, and I've heard from people,
Yeah.
they found it very useful using Google Translate.
See,
I tried the
our country-
Manipuri, and have anybody tried the Manipuri Google Translate? Have you tried the Meiteiron one?
Yeah,
But some people have
I tried, but sometimes there are lots of mistakes.
That's what I thought too. Even me knowing very little, maybe the Mizo is better because maybe they're.
Well,
I don't-
I
think
try
it
it for
depends.
Thai every
Yeah,
year,
but
and it
the
doesn't.
more you try it, the more it gets better.
It learns, yeah.
So-
It learns more, yeah.
Is there some software based out of Kerala or in the south of India to translate these, apart from what Google does?
Where's the Google India, you mean?
Google Translate,
Yeah.
I mean, apart from Google Translate, is there some other company which is doing this in India? I mean, in South?
And it is Microsoft?
Google India is very popular.
One is being translated from Microsoft.
Yeah.
Even for Assamese language, being translated from Microsoft is better than Google Translator, and it came much more before Google Translator.
Yeah.
I have heard some software
I tried
which is
Microsoft.
built, developed in India.
Even my
Yeah.
phone.
Much better than
My phone
Google
is
this.
But I
Yeah.
kept
See,
seeing,
so many small companies are also doing, and see Motorola, because we again and again talk about Motorola.
Yeah.
Like, see, their goal is, of course, I was told that they have a kind of a template word list or whatever. They give it to linguists, and the linguist's job is to find the right kind of native speakers and kind of elicit data and put the essential IPA and other information and give it back. There's a lot of training for the linguist as well to use different devices and how to fine tune his or her thinking to get it done as a mobile app. And afterwards, they're given maybe 3 months or maximum 6 months or so, and they have to produce the product. The problem is, like, though we are saying we don't need any such companies, what is happening is many places in India, we are all working in isolation, and there is no one person or a body or an organization which can take up all our products. I'm talking about Indian situation. It's very nice. Corsal has an open repository system and is welcoming everybody to join hands and do it. But many of them do not know about Corsal except academicians. So my request to you would be to give more publicity to it and what actually you do. And many of them are scared when we say we want to transcribe, we want to do other things because they are non-linguists. So what is the benefit of putting their indigenous valuable knowledge in Corsal? That's something we can, maybe you need to do some more mobilization so that people come forward to do that, and so that we also can share, and maybe we also need other repositories which can also afterwards join with Corsal, something like that. CIIL has started, of course, at a small level, but
Yeah.
we need more
Yeah.
to do.
But in terms of the use, we've just mentioned Google Translate. So if we have resources that are built up, those could then really help a company like that, create that
See,
translation.
many
machine.
IITs of India are interested in doing, but they don't seem to know what to do. Because many of them talk to us when we are invited for talks, they say we would like to work with linguists. So I think now we must have some
I don't know about IITs, and I don't want to say anything bad about anybody else, but I want to say this is really hard work and it's very time-consuming work.
Yes, I
and
know.
people don't want to put the time in.
Exactly.
They want to hire somebody to do some word lists and do that. It's not going to work.
Yeah, that is what is happening with many of the dictionaries. What we see also, most of the times they are not dictionaries. They are just compilation of word lists. Somebody would have collected 2,000 words or 3,000 words. They will put them together and produce something, call it as a dictionary. That is again a problem.
Is Google Translate working for other languages? Is there any example?
You mean for indigenous languages?
Both Chinese and I think Mandarin and English, people use it often for,
Not even Portuguese. I
or
keep
Japanese and
getting
English. So you're saying the
Russian-
Thai doesn't work? So the
Russian
tones?
works pretty well, they say, because we get many, like I think you know Evgeny Kuzmin. He writes lengthy messages in Russian and sends one line at the end saying, "Oh Mark, use Google Translate and know what I say." So it works pretty well for Brazilian Portuguese,
some-
Russian, French.
In OTT platform also, when you watch a movie, there's a language option also.
Yeah,
Yes.
Here also it's-
But
The automatic
text also.
captions, right? So come out,
Yeah,
yeah.
full text. But
You
for
need
our-
just more, you need more data basically.
But it's not
And that's what
just-
we're trying,
yeah.
you need well transcribed,
Exactly.
well translated data, and that's what we're trying to do here, so.
I'm sure the movies are ahead.
And why some of the, like we just mentioned, like in the case of Migro, when the AI is the artificial intelligence is questioned, it becomes more effective. I mean, what differs? What is it that is behind the success of a Google translation for one particular
Yeah.
voice?
It's the volume of words.
It is, and so imagine this, right? So if you have a word like, so Meiteron has a word like me, if you pronounce it one way, it means spider. If you pronounce it another way, it means man. But to have that identical MI, if that's all the machine is seeing, it can't make the difference. So you have to have a way for the machine to distinguish polysemy, one word that means several things, or tone differences. So it is only as good as the data that goes in, and then the machine has to work really hard to understand those differences if you haven't pointed it out, yeah. So then it'll be talking about spiders instead of men.
Any other question for Shobana?
Thank you for the panel.
Thank you so much. Always nice to hear you. Okay. Yeah, now I invite upon Alindra Brahma to talk on what to be documented and digitized. And here is the mic.
So, first of all, I welcome you all to the session, and I welcome the organizers, particularly Mr. Somiro and sponsors. Yeah. So, actually, yesterday, immediately I thought that I should, speak on this, but it's not, a kind of well-organized speech or well-organized slides here. But as a linguist, and I belong to a community of Northeast India, I have some observations. Like I left my native village in 1997, 25 years back. That time we, used to play around, like folk games, and we enjoyed, But if I go back there now, it's like a feeling, I feel like something is not transmitting actually from the elderly generation, not elderly only, even from our generation to the present generation, the younger generation. So I thought that I should pick up some things which are, missing there. Yeah, and those actually, need to be digitized. I mean, documented and digitized. So it's like at the beginning it's more like linguistic, but towards the end it's more like folkloristic. So actually, before I joined CIIL, I was looking for job actually. So even in 2011 and 12, I worked with NFSC also, National Folklore Support Center. So I was also into folklore, and it's one of my favorite area. So I also worked actually a few things. So I start with script, orthography, reading and writing. So this is a kind of sharing my, not only mine, me and my team actually. So we were looking for a lost script, but it is not lost now. It's an endangered script used by Bodo people of Assam. So earlier actually we got to know that the name of this script is Zankrao script. Okay. But we found it as Mahiri Bidab. Okay. So we started from the westernmost part of Assam. Then coming from there towards the eastern part of Assam, we found it in Bizni area of the state. It is, under this Chirang district. Earlier it was Bongaigaon district. So the left top picture is of vowel. So this is like Brahmi script, O, A, E, but how they actually read it? It's like a O. It's like Dui, O. Actually, Dui means water in Boro, and it starts with school stage, the small kids. So how to read is actually O means what? In baby talk, it is Dai. Okay, Dai means water. In baby talk, it is O. If it is a baby, then we will just tell O. Okay, it's not Dai. But in general, the term for water is Dai. In case of baby talk, it is O. So they will not O, sorry, go. Yeah, it's like go, O, like that. Then a in baby talk, it means die. so, so it's like a tui, like that. Yeah, yeah. So it's connecting the baby talk also with the, the words in the normal language. Then like e, like a small e, it's like a short e. So it's e sung. Sung means short. E sung, e lao, like that. Lao means long. Like that they pronounce these letters. Then the right side is the consonant side. There are also, a systematic way of, reading these consonant letters. Then we also collected some actually written text, handwritten text using this script, and actually they are using it, in writing their mantras, chantings, and that prayers. So in this handwritten piece of paper in the photograph, it is like Bima Gederni Aros. Bima means mother, Geder means big, Aros means prayer. Prayer of the big mothers, like that. So now I'm learning it to, how to read it. So I'm happy to share it with you. Yeah. So this is one handwritten volume of using that script actually. So the name of the book is Gudi Bijab. So it means primary book. So I tried to write this book, and now I can read the book, and I can understand also what is written in the book. So our actually aim is to produce one script book of this endangered script. So we have also produced script books from CIIL. So some of the pages we can show. This is from an introduction to Mite Mike. So we are producing. It is in print already. So it is an introduction to Mite Mike, reading and writing. So I have my co-editor, Dr. Brojen Singh. So we prepared it from CIIL with the guidance of Professor Uma Madam and all the senior people there. So we are putting the words, letters like this. Like this is Pa. So the general description, like fifth letter of the Mite Mike, which is called EPIAC. There are 27 letters in EPIAC of Mite Mike, then 8 letters in L.Somi. So we have already prepared this also. So we are trying to prepare a book like this for that script. So this is another letter from Mite Mike. So this is from Assamese. This is from Boro, like that. Yeah. So these are the script books we have, prepared until date. So there are also, some auto-instructional indigenous language learning courses we tried to prepare actually. Already we, prepared and published from CIIL on Tiwa language teaching and learning. So this is a kind of handbook where we actually incorporate basic, even some advanced level vocabulary, along with the basic features of the language in graded manner in conversational text, followed by some practices like that. So I have also included this point that we need dictionaries. So I got an idea actually from a computer scientist that if we can produce an online dictionary, suppose with 500 words, okay, then we have to give access to the users. I mean, there should be like a provision of user interface. some users, even all the users can, create their passwords and IDs, and they can contribute to the dictionary. But it will not get, published immediately. There will be some people in the middle who will be monitoring and approving the, entries. If the entry is acceptable, it can go online like that, and it can be edited later on also. And some important informations, related to that entry can be, included later on. Then visual dictionaries, I, got to see one like English, German visual dictionary. Those kind of dictionary, even, it does not need any, meaning also. You can, give the meaning with the photograph. And another dictionary, good dictionary, interactive talking dictionary. This is the whole idea of, creating interactive talking dictionary is of Professor Uma in the CIIL. But, we are just, started actually. We have just started. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now coming to folk speech. So this is one of my publications. I thought that actually the folk speeches, which are going to disappear, those should be written down and digitized like that. So I, along with my wife, we collected around 180 proverbs, 97 riddles, 222 idioms, 185 folk beliefs, myths, etc. of the Bodo folk. And actually this is in Bodo language. I have a plan that actually we should, translate it into English or other languages also. Yeah, yeah. So here I was very much interested in, how to, describe the folk belief. Okay, like in folk beliefs, what is happening? I have already included somewhere in the slides, but I will tell you. Suppose the dragonflies are, flying low, not above, not too above, low. Then it's a kind of, a belief that it's going to be rain. It's going to rain, going to be raining, and it can be also, traditional. What we can weather forecast system kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then I actually worked with one of my friends. He is now director of physical education at Dibrugarh University, Dr. Montu Boro. One day he called me that, do you know any name of our local folk games? So I said that I have a list. Already I had this list before he called me. So I already collected 26 general folk games, which, maybe they played by any age group of people, and like 12 folk games, which are basically used by kids, the younger people. So he also asked me, do you know this game, how to play these games? Then I said that I can remember that if I can get a chance, I can try to recreate. Because these are no more played in the, in our village or the, the localities actually. So he asked me, can you draw one playground of one, So I did this one. So this is called Reedy. Some people also call, different, they use different name to, this particular game. So as you can see, it's a very systematic game, So it looks, like it's like kabaddi or, more systematic than kabaddi, like that, no? Yeah. So I explained this to him. I think today I should not explain because it takes long time to explain it actually. Yeah. Anyway, that B1, B2, B3, B5, B4, B5, these are like, one line. The people, players in that blue hat, they will be there, And entry one, two people that with the red hat, at least two people should enter through entry one like that. And the first B1, he will be, letting them go. Just he will be in the middle at the time of entry, like that. Then they have to go, and finish all the Bs. Yeah, yeah. Then the same kind of entry will be, through the re-entry other side, like that. And there are some rules like while touching the, player, then they should not, touch the line like that. Or if someone goes out of the line, out of the field, he will die like that. I mean, out of the field. He cannot continue the play like that. So this is, I got it a very, systematic, and I can recreate it now even. If someone asks, how to play it, then most of the games I know how to play. Yeah. Then coming into the traditional knowledge systems, actually, I went through so many things actually which are related to traditional knowledge systems, like traditional performances. Magical realism is also related to that, which has its place in science fiction also. It's a kind of, I think the recent literary theory also, this one, magical realism. So these kind of things are there actually, which we need to, digitize. Yeah. So I have included like a charm also, which is used in, in influencing someone. I know myself. How does it work actually? It's like if one girl doesn't love me, I can just apply it. She will love me. Yeah. This kind of thing, practice is there. Yeah. And then folk medicine, and along with folk medicine, we can have, this kind of terms, ethnobotanical linguistic terms, and how these terms are formed actually. So we can find in the names of plants, medicinal plants, their names are, if you can see, it's kind of extended metaphor. They find out similarities, with some other thing and give the name to it like that. So I worked on word formation in Tiwa, Dimasa, and Boro, and I got some, this kind of data actually. So, and these are related to folk medicinal plants actually. Then hunting tradition. I worked on hunting tradition also. I have some photographs also. I will show you. So these are the things that I think that we should work on. Not only on Boro actually. This is for other tribal languages or indigenous languages also, because I have gone to different linguistic areas like Tiwa, Deuri, Dimasa. So it's important, I think. So this is some photographs of hunting tradition we did in 2017 and 18, just before pandemic. So it's actually nowadays it is an endangered tradition. Hunting is an endangered tradition, but it should be endangered. We should not encourage hunting anymore. But there are so many things related to community and their language in this hunting tradition. And even the trap and ergot trap. I requested this person that if you can, make it for us. We are not going to use it, but you just, make it. He made it for us actually, and he showed how to, trap an agate like that. Yeah. But this collecting firewood, this is real. It is happening now also. It is not hunting actually, not an example of hunting. What happens? The village people who are residing near the forest area, when they have to do some festival or ritual, and they have to prepare food for so many people, they need firewood. Then they will take permission from the forest in charge, and they will allow them to bring dry firewoods. Actually, they cannot cut but they can bring the dry ones. So these are also like these are also part of folk hunting tradition. Like these are wild vegetables. Yeah. And now the new generation, they are not knowing names of these plants also. So I included this. Like this is hunting tradition, community fishing. So there are so many terms and stories, encounters happening in this kind of activities. So those may be digitized. And I have taken some lost or endangered words. Actually, due to like this hunting tradition becoming endangered, this is also endangered. The word is also endangered because this particular sandals made of tire, it is used in hunting only, so that you can run around inside inside the jungle. Anyway, this is feita. We cannot get it, and the young generation, they do not know the name of this. Yeah. Again, this is a piece of wood used to strike on it while washing clothes in the river. Even I could not find any image of it now, like that. It is called nadar. So everywhere water is drying. We do not have water in river in our native places. So it may be because of that also. This is also like this baby loom, traditional baby loom. We cannot find it. Yeah. Then, as Professor Savannah has already said about this cuisine and recipes, even yesterday Mr. L.Somi said about it. We have to, it's not necessary that we have to, revitalize the food items, but the story, the instructions, actually the cuisine and recipe, how to prepare the food. Those stories we can, document and digitize. So these are also some aspects, seasonal, social, religious, agricultural rituals, which we can document and digitize. So I just wanted to include one thing that we come across, this kind of restrictions, restricted data, restricted researchers. That should not happen. A researcher, he or she, himself or herself should not be restricted. Then restricted domains also. So with this restricted data, actually, I can give you one of my experiences actually. When I was assisting my friend. Actually, he is an electronic engineer, and he was designing one silkworm detecting system. Silkworm detection system means when the silkworm stops eating and starts making its cocoon, then we have to identify it and keep it aside. Okay, so he tried to make one such detective system. So I went with him in a Rajbanshi village in Sualkusi area of Assam. It is just 20-25 kilometers from Guwahati. So we came to know that there is a folk song, and it is, restricted data. Only adult female can sing it, and no one can go there and listen to it. Because what they do, when the silkworm, okay, comes out of its cocoon in the form of a moth, then they will keep the female moths only on a dried cotton, clean cloth to lay eggs, and they will just throw out the male ones. And to make them lay eggs, they will welcome male moths, butterflies from across 7 rivers. It's a belief. Okay, so to welcome those male ones, they will sing a song which we cannot, we cannot record because it may have some slang words like that, which these younger female members or male members cannot hear like that. So he said that can we hide one recorder inside the room where they sing? But I said that it's not ethical. Yeah, but anyway we cannot get some data because of this kind of thing. And restricted domains is like this place. Actually, when we, when we went to this place, they said that if you are not from our religion, you cannot take this data, like that. So this kind of restriction is also there. So luckily, I'm Brahma, they are also Brahma. Okay, so I could go there and collect data. And this is kind of, data which actually we have to wait for long, actually. This is dancing on a short, actually, sub-short. It's a completely kind of, shaman dance kind of thing. So we cannot get this kind of data, actually. We had to wait for 10 years to, collect this data. Okay, so I just, finish here. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Arvindra, for sharing your experiences on documenting and digitizing Bodo. Though it is one of the scheduled languages of India, you know very well it is, still there is much more to be done in Bodo. So any questions and feedback, comments?
That was a good list, really helpful.
Yeah.
And I think the restricted stuff we don't hear a lot about, so it's nice that you pointed it out.
Yeah.
But do you feel like because you're Bodo and you're Brahma and you got those things that you can share them? Because
No, it was like, I do not think that they do not allow actually. But before we go there, some people went there. They told us that we are not from this religion, so they did not allow us. But they did not ask us anything,
Oh.
even our names. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But it may happen some other places. Yeah.
Any other question or comment? Nobody? Good. So thank you, Arvindra, once again, because of course a long journey to continue and document many more things, whatever you can, because you still have a lot of years in your service, both at the institute, even otherwise. I'm sure you'll be able to do it. So now I would like to invite Somi Roy at the end of the day and at the end of the session. He is going to talk about creation of digital resources at, I don't think so, we can take. So he's going to talk about creation of digital resources basically at the Imasi Foundation along with UNT, and his focus is going to be on open access. Thank you. Somi, the floor is yours. The time is yours. You will ask it. 15 minutes.
I'm going to ask them to keep it short. I'm having a hard time
Yatra, Kapadao.
Because I cannot see.
screen share to yaar da copy taroga. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Umarani. As also the director of this festival, I'm very grateful for the two panels that CIIL has organized, along with two talks, one by Dr. David Peterson and the other by Gilvan Muller d'Oliveira, which will be on Thursday, online incidentally, since, no, day after tomorrow. Yeah.
I'll check.
Yeah, day after. So the road has been a somewhat long and interesting one, interesting to me, certainly. And ever since I started visiting Manipur, I started taking up certain projects. And one of them was manuscripts of Manipur, and which I started first with the University of Kentucky, after shopping it around to Columbia University and to Cornell. I figured that all change must come from the fringes. And so I went to Kentucky and worked on the Manipuri manuscripts digitization project. And that is when I met Shobna. We organized a Manipur colloquium in 2007 at UK in Lexington. It was a one-day program by Dr. Evelyn Knight. And we brought Mangangsana, the Pena balladeer, whom you saw in Delhi as well, Ezekiel. And he'll be featured on the last day. He's also an Imasi Foundation trustee. And from that, we tried to raise money for this, I think at least 5 different times. Twice with UK, Lexington, and certainly, and that involved the British Library and the Dun Huang project that I brought here. And then 3 times with you, through 2 NEH, and 1 to UCLA. Interesting and oddly, we always got turned down. And Mary Molinaro, who was my partner at UK, was herself serving on the committee for the NEH, the panel. She was on the panel. And of course, we made sure there was no conflict of interest. But having been on the funding end of things, I've also been on certain panels for NEA and for NISCA and so on in New York. We know that it was a very good proposal. Our proposal, Shobna, you also were there when you were with the science project with the NSF. You've been on both sides of the grantor and grantee, and we know it's a really good project. In fact, the VC asked me about it the other day, what happened to it? You went off and created Corsal. I went off and started writing books. And I used my research in manuscripts to create a book. I wrote a book called And That Is Why, a first book on Manipuri mythology from Penguin. And I'll be writing a sequel. I am writing a sequel right now. Are you guys ready? Okay. I'm talking just to wait for you. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So in the process of all this, I started creating certain digital resources. One is something called the Manipuri Learning Module, which while we were setting up how we're going to be working together, I parked it on Zenodo at the suggestion of Dr. Nathan Hill of SOAS, now with Trinity College in Dublin. And my mother's literature is a whole trove of stuff, both published, unpublished, drafts, notes, etc., that I have to create as an Imasi Foundation archive. This is going to be the final step of my work with Imasi Foundation. The first one is making sure that they don't get lost and get published. I published 4 books last year. One, this book is now in Bangla. It came out last year. I wrote a biography for Sahitya Academy, and I have to now republish all the books in Meitei Mayik for all the people in Manipur University. So I'm working on some other titles now. I have 2 more books to publish from Binodini's work. I've published 3 unpublished books, manuscripts so far. I've actually published 11 books since I came back here, which is about 5 or 6 years ago. So this has been my main thing. But one of the things that we did was Crimson Rain Clouds, which is the translation of the play that was broadcast last night. I did the translation to English, and because it's a short play, 15 pages long, I included the original in Meitei Mayik, which had never been done before, and the original in Bangla script in which my mother wrote it. And then I included the audio of the play recording, audio recording, and a transliteration. And for that, I produced a transliteration romanization system, and which I ran by you and by Nathan and several other people. I still haven't published it. I want to publish it all as a book. Photographs from the original stage version and accompanying introductory essays, so that anyone in the world can sit anywhere, Rio, Osaka, Johannesburg, anywhere, and learn Manipuri. If you know how to read English, you can learn Manipuri. You will hear what it sounds like, you will be able to read what it looks like, you can understand it through the English translation, etc. It's a module. And so this is one of the things that we're talking about how to put it in Korsal, as we already have it in Korsal in a way. And so there'll be an Imasi Foundation collection at Korsal that we have been working on for the last few years, actually 4 or 5 years now, okay? Next slide. In the course of this, when I came back here, I disappeared for more than 20 years, and I forgot who all my relatives are, and I have 13 grandmothers, and I have no idea who's my aunt and who's my cousin and so on. So I started something called the Jalakeli Project. It's a project based on the Sri Sri Govinda Jiu Jalakeli Pala. Pala means choir. It's a music project of Nata Sankirtan, Manipuri classical music, and it is based in the palace at the temple. It's a family project because only descendants of Maharaja Narsingh are allowed to sing in the choir. Whether you can hold a tune or not is secondary. And for this, I created video documentation of the performers because I wanted to know who they were. They seemed to all know me, but I didn't know them. And so we did about 20 video interviews by Abo, our man who's the coordinator here. And so we've parked that. We gave all this to Mark Phillips of UNT, and it is all at UNT archives right now. And we did interviews, and we made a film about the performance itself. It takes place every May on Buddha Purnima, the full moon of the Buddha in May at the palace. And then we translated the original text from 1844. That's when the Pala started. And then we published all of this, including profiles of past members, in a book called Ningsing Lakpada Jalakeli, meaning remembering Jalakeli, and is by my cousin, Todingjam Lakshmi Priya. She is not a scholar and she's not a writer, which makes the book for me extremely attractive. It is just raw, hagiographic, memory-based, based on interviews with other family members. There's no pretension, there's no analysis, there's no theoretical framework, nothing. It is just a list of things and profiles. We're trying to finish one before you leave, so I can give you a thumb drive you can take because it's very heavy, the file. If I have to send it, I'll have to. And in the process of this, I created a digital genealogy. And right now, any Manipuri can actually go there and put their family tree in there. But based on the women of the choir. So these are some of the digital resources that I have developed so far, and we wish to take it to the next level. And I hope I'll find some time after today to sit down with you and kind of talk with you all about what some of the things we can do. And but the larger goal is to create a digital archive. You didn't come yesterday, but you've been there, my house. I'm hoping to turn that into a digital library, mainly because I can't bear to live in Imphal anymore, the traffic and the dust. So I want to turn that into I'm finishing up the legal paperwork for that, turn that into a digital library and research center. So, Fangi, if you want to come and study something related to the Northeast through our collection, the documentation we're making here this time would all go into that foundation with the help of the metadata expertise of Shobna and staff at Indiana and in UNT. And so my ultimate goal is to create an Imasi Foundation digital archive for international and national. The digital knows no boundaries, study and research. Universal access, international research, collaborative scholarship that we'll be talking about tomorrow. And so these are some of the things that I've already found a potential museum partner here in India, and because I need all the help I can get. And so that's what I've been working on. The two things, the Manipuri Learning Module and then the Jallikili project. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Somi,
you.
for this, I should say, short but crisp wrapping up in one sense, because we have been sitting here for 2 hours, believe it or not. We started at 4. We thought we will end up within maybe 70 minutes, 90 minutes, but that shows that even though the members are less, but the interests were there and people were kept engaged. So I'm not going to wrap up again because I think all of us are very much tired. I just would like to end by saying that it is important for us to contribute in all possible ways to create digital resources for languages of India in general, and to be more specific for Northeast India. Just even though it's going to be little by little, we know that little drops of water make a mighty ocean. So
That's a song, isn't it?
that's a saying. So
Yeah, thank you, yes.
yeah,
Yes,
anyway, so
indeed,
thank you so much, Somi, for giving us
Thank you.
a platform to talk about this, because that's very, very important. And since it's recorded, I believe it will be kind of shared with the community people so that we get their reactions and arouse their interest so that they can join us in this project, and maybe we, or the other way around, we can join them and help them to build their own digital resources.
Sometimes you plan something and other people get ahead of you because they see things that you don't. I got a message the day before after when I was planning the opening from a friend of mine who teaches at Ambedkar University in Delhi. She's saying, please share the YouTube videos ASAP, and she's going to be teaching her students at Ambedkar University using the documentation that we are producing. So people already are interested.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah, so thank you so much once again. So I thank all of you on behalf of CIIL for being either a speaker or a listener in the Listener Festival. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you.
Have a nice evening. And thank you guys for your patience, because since morning you have been doing this job.
Thank you.